President-elect Donald Trump is being sentenced today in his hush money case. The sentencing will take place in Manhattan court and comes 10 days before he's sworn in for his second term as president.
Meanwhile, Trump's request to have the sentencing stop was rejected by the Supreme Court yesterday. Joining us now is civil and criminal attorney Donte Mills. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me this morning.
And Trump is likely to get an unconditional discharge. What does that mean exactly under New York state law?
So let's just talk about the scenario here because it's very interesting. Trump's team is coming after the presidential immunity granting that the Supreme Court talked about last year. But the issue is these instances occurred before Trump was president the first time, and now he's going to be sentenced before he's president the second time. So it seems as if he's fitting into these windows where presidential immunity does not apply, and that's what the Supreme Court said. They also said it's not going to be unduly burdensome on the president-elect's responsibilities, so Judge Marchand can move forward with the sentencing, especially in light of the fact that Judge Marchand said it's going to be more likely an unconditional discharge, which means there's not going to be any penalty at all. It's not like incoming President Trump is going to have to serve time in jail. He's not going to have to be on probation or anything that will restrict his duties as president. So they're allowing the sentencing to move forward today, knowing that it will be over. There will be no penalty, and then it won't affect Trump when he's president of the United States.
He says he still wants to appeal, of course, but what are some of the restrictions or consequences that he could face after today, now being a convicted felon?
Well, you have the typical or usual restrictions that we have in the United States. In some states, you're not allowed to vote. Funny enough, there's a lot of jobs that you can't get when you're a felon. But otherwise, there's not going to be any penalties that he's going to face. There is no restriction on being president if you're a convicted felon. The only requirements are you're over 35 and you're a citizen of the United States. So it's not going to impact his ability to lead the nation. And you assume he's not going to be looking for any other types of jobs where being a felon is going to impact him. So I don't think this is going to impact him at all. He's not going to have any direct penalty, and it's not going to impact his future because Judge Marchand said it's going to be an unconditional discharge. So seemingly, Trump is going to be convicted of these felonies without any type of punishment associated with it and without anyone saying, here's the penalty for what it was decided by this jury that you did.
Trump was hoping to have the sentencing called off. Why do you think those efforts were unsuccessful?
Because he's not president. So there's no reason why that presidential immunity that he was seeking to have this called off for would apply. And also because the judge, again, said it's more likely to be an unconditional discharge. So if there was a threat of him being, say, on probation while he was president, then maybe the Supreme Court would have called that off because obviously that would have impacted Trump's ability to lead the nation. But that's not going to happen, and that's why I was allowed to move forward.
Donte, with this decision of basically being convicted of this, but facing no penalty, does that kind of nullify the Trump camp's argument of, witch hunts and 2 tiers of justice and things of that nature?
I don't. I think it works the other way. I think this is kind of a slap in the face to the justice system because you had a jury come in here, sit for a long time and go over all of this evidence and say that they believe Trump did something wrong. However, as a result of that, there will be no penalty at all. So you told them their job was important. You told them they would be listened to. But once they decided that he was guilty, whether or not he should have been charged, he was. And he was put in front of a jury. And that jury looked at all of the evidence and said, we believe Donald Trump committed a crime. But at the end of that, despite the fact that they said that there will be no penalty. So I think that's a bad sign to show the American people that you can do something wrong that's deemed a violation of our laws and get away with it, essentially. Leave unscathed without any penalty. I don't think that's what we want to put forward to our people. I don't think that's what we want people to understand. We want people to know that if you do something, there's a penalty associated with it, and you will have to pay the consequences for your actions.
Civil and criminal attorney Donte Mills, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.